Alright, this is a revision to my coffee pot making video that I've made in the past here. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this video. If you've seen it, it's just nothing much has changed. Just two small revisions. I'm using the same mini bowl design Bongo Pro, I believe this is called, stove. It works really well. I generally fill it up to the top. It takes one complete fill until you see it gloss there a little bit, and it will actually take two fills to make a pot of coffee. So one thing I've made a revision to is my percolator. This actually extends past there a little longer, because the biggest revision I've made is to the top of my percolator. I've put a resizable percolator lid on this, and this has made all the difference in the world. I no longer need the internal ring in here that I have on my older lid, which was basically a soda can bottom cut off and JB welded on here. The JB weld was giving it a funny taste at times, so I didn't know if it was wrong or right. So now this fits in here like this, and I don't know if I can, yeah, you can see it still just kind of comes out into that lid there, percolates into here, and drips back down through the hole back into my base here. Made no changes to the base, same amount of holes. I've had those holes on the side after a few revisions. That didn't fix the problem, still boiled over. So, I use a number 2 filter so far. I haven't tried number 1 yet. Number 2 filter is this, and I cut it down. I'll lay it in front of it so you can see how big I cut it down. I cut it down by that much, so I lose that much there. And I take the number 2 filter, and I place it, I punch a hole in the bottom with a hole punch, standard size hole punch, and I place that on top of the center pipe here, and just push it down. It goes all the way in there. That goes into the base of there. Pretty far down in there, pretty good. You don't want it to go past those little holes if you can spread it out just right. If you want it to stay above these holes here. Then I add my coffee. And I usually add about 2 tablespoons. That's just how I like mine. 1. It's a little bit much than one making 1 cup of coffee, so some people might like. In fact, I tried a little less. Actually, it was a little strong last time. So I'll do about 1 1/2 because it was a little strong last time. And then on the top, I use these coffee filter brew right disc style coffee filters. They look like this, and they have a little perforated edge. Well, that perforated edge is just a little big. 100 count. Don't see a number. It's a 3 1/2 inch. But then I take off that perforated edge, and I push that right down because it has a hole already punched in these. I just push that down over top of the coffee. Then I place this in my cup. I have about 1.5 cups of water in here right now, which is perfect for my tablespoon and 1/2 of coffee. Then I gotta do lighter here. I gotta figure out how it works. It's not as simple as just squeezing the trigger, huh? Yes, it is. Light my coffee, and this just percolates for approximately 8 to 12 minutes. I've had a little bit of variance on that. I guess I'm starting with just different temperature waters. So this stove, on a full burn of fuel, once you fill it up all the way, this is the Bongo Pro that I have from Tenny at Mini Bull Design, burns for between 5 and 6 minutes on a fill up there. So when it starts to glow orange, I'll refill it because it has a refuel tube here. I'll refuel it and let it come to a glisten. Don't want it to overflow because all that liquid on here would burn the table or burn my rubber attachment here. But I'll refill it until it glistens, and then I'll let that burn down. And by the time that's burned down, this is already percolated and ready to go. It is like the perfect amount of time. I've decided Didn't look if it was right, but it's on the right. Okay. The perfect amount of time I've decided for... I'm just a little tall there. Catching most of my back room there. Alright. So anyways, once it starts percolating, which will be a while, I will let you know. And so you don't have to watch all this time. I turn this off for just a minute, and I'll turn it back on before I refuel it, and when it starts to percolate. Just wanted to get a shot showing you that flame at full throttle there. Once it's going full throttle, you can probably not see very well, but you can see the flame kind of rolling just around the edge with this bongo design. Just wanted to get a shot of that while it was full throttle before the flame died down. It'll die down in a minute here, and I'll go ahead and refuel it. When you refuel, you want to be careful. That first burst of refueling can cause it to flame up really fast. So you just go real slow at first, and then once you get a little bit in there, it comes up and then comes back down, and then you just fill it all the way. And actually, you can see a little bit of orange right down in there, I guess, in that edge. That generally means you're starting to die out, which, yes, actually, I'm not even going to turn this off because we are starting to get a little orange glows on the black felt there. Tells me time to refuel. I'm going to go ahead and just do that right now. And you'll see when that fuel first hits that, it kind of comes up fast. See that? Just take it easy. Don't want to force it in too fast. And when you see it glisten, back off. Maybe hit just one more time to make sure. And every time you see it glisten, back off. You don't want it coming over the edge, coming down here and dripping all over, and this all will catch on fire. So that's good. That's our second shot. It's a full shot there. Let it brew through this one, and then when it's done, when it starts to percolate, I'll turn it back on here. Catch you guys in a minute. As you can see, we've just started percolating. I think we caught the first drop on camera. I could hear it starting to boil just a hair. As soon as you hear it start to boil a little bit, you know you're ready to percolate. And the first few percolations are pretty heavy because that flame is really cooking down there. Now, it'll start to slow down pretty quick here because, like I said, that only goes for about 5 minutes per fill-up of that bongo with fuel. And I'm not going to fill it up again. So once this flame is down, it's down. Now, I mentioned earlier those 4 holes on the side of the canister, not in the bottom of the pot where you put the coffee in. Those 4 holes is a lot of where the steam is coming from. It's releasing out there. Without those 4 holes, I was getting boilovers every time. And then even with those, when I had the percolator not up here, it was just hitting the top of this pan and coming right back down real quick in my old video. It was filling this up too fast, and it would just boil over. So this percolator here is letting it drip down and slower. It's not as much pressure, I think. It's really doing it. I guess you could see the flame there. Went from what was a rolling out the edge flame over here to just about dying down now. And actually, I don't know that we'll have much time left on this flame. We'll see. But we're already percolating, and a good 2 to 4 minute percolation is plenty for a single cup of coffee. While that's recording the percolating there, I'm going to lift the camera so you can see from the top a little bit. I don't know if you can actually see it from where I was at. So, and that top percolating piece, I picked that up at a True Value Hardware, and it literally was a one-size-fits-all type thing. As long as you had a hole in the top of your coffee pot, you screwed that on and it just fit right on there. So I had a plastic top one. I think maybe you can see that in one of my old videos. And I just cut that right out with a razor. And this fit right into that hole. I guess I was doggone lucky because I didn't have to cut the metal or anything. worked out well. I guess you can see it starting to slow down, or you can hear it starting to slow down. And you can also see my flame is starting to die down. And I just let it run all the way down. Once it runs out, that's one of my cups done. So 2 refills on the fuel. I think it holds less than an ounce of fuel each time you fill it up, because it actually sucks a little back out. The nipple is down just below there, so any excess fluid sitting up in the top of here kind of gets sucked back down, but there's still just enough in the felt, because this is a carbon felt cab stove, I think Tanny calls them. There's just enough in the felt to keep it burning and wicking up all the fuel from down below. So that works really well. Once this stops percolating, that's when I usually just blow it out, because it'll burn for a little while. With that little bitty flame down here, it'll burn for a little while. But I usually let it going just until I don't see any more percolating, which is going to happen any second now. And then I'll blow it out. I guess you could let it continue to heat. It's not going to percolate anymore, but you could keep it on the heat if you were doing 2 cups in here, just to keep your second cup warm for a little bit longer. I don't know, it's not going to burn that much longer. It'll burn right out. The nice thing about this carbon felt is that it doesn't hurt it burning out like this orange glow you're seeing there. Any of your other wicks tend to get destroyed when they burn like that, but this one doesn't. So we're not even percolating anymore. I'm going to go ahead and apply this little blow there, blows that out. I made a cup and pour that out for you. Give me 2 seconds, I'll be right back. Alright, so remember I cut this little piece right here off the top of the filter? Well, because that glass has been percolating a lot, it gets pretty hot. I hang on to this just because I have my wicking on the side of the pot here, but that glass is super hot and it grabs really tight. I let this drip for about 2 minutes, like I said. But every time you pick it up and tilt it, you just want to kind of do like that. And that's about all you're going to get on the drip. I'm sitting on a plate because I don't want it to drip all over my tail, but in the woods, I guess you could sit it on the ground and just rinse it off. Whatever. This is a nice hot cup of coffee. I'm going to go ahead and do a nice slow pour here so you guys can see a little bit. Not too dark. I know I got a black background there, right? So let me not too dark. And it's so it's a bigger cup than I'm pouring real slow. I'll show you why in a second. I want you to see. No grounds. Yeah, okay, so there's 2 or 3 grounds on it. But I mean there's no grounds getting through hardly. If there are, there's just a very few, 2 or 3 of them. But very little grounds. So that's my revision to my coffee pot for camping.